Hey guys, Greg with BTOD TV and BTOD.com. In today's stability test, we're going to be taking a closer look at Flexispot's EC1 electric standing desk. Now, if you haven't had a chance to watch these videos before, we like to look at the stability of standing desk, both front to back, what we call rocking, and left to right or wobble at various heights with various weights applied to the surface. If you'd like to learn more about why we pick these heights and these weights, I highly recommend you check out the video linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. With that, let's go ahead and jump in to our first test. Before we go ahead and jump into our first test for the Flexispot EC1, let's talk about a couple things that you're gonna see here in the test today. Number one, obviously the setup. You can see we do have 2 cinder blocks, some smaller dumbbells, plus the weight of the surface to hit our first 100-pound mark. Because of the capacity restraints of this particular product, we'll only be looking at 2 different weights on the surface, the 100 pounds and then maxing it out at 187. Now this desk will allow us to look at 4 different heights, so we'll jump through those tests and you'll be able to see how this desk performs both left to right and front to back. The other thing you'll notice, got my trusty Blue Ridge tape measure on my hip, and the reason for that is it just has a standard switch on the desk. I won't be able to use the programmable digital readout to get me to my desired heights. It's gonna take a little bit longer, but we are gonna run through it just the same, and we'll make sure we dial in all those numbers correctly. This desk goes from about 28.5 inches high up to, or about 29, it's pretty close with the adjustable foot glides, up to about 48.5 or 48.75 inches tall, just so that you know where our bottom height is and our max height. With that, let's go ahead and jump into the first test here. Again, 100 pounds, we're gonna check it at its lowest point, which for this desk is a little bit taller than average, but it is still its lowest point. So solid here at the bottom height, both front to back and left to right. Get my tape measure out. We're gonna go ahead and check 39 inches is our first test. All right, 39 inches. 39 inches is, if you didn't know this, the average height of females in the United States for standing if you're 5'4". So let's check it out, see how it performs. Okay, so at 39 inches, unfortunately, it's not great considering. You can see it doesn't take a lot to get that thing going. And that's not gonna be good as we move this desk up higher. Now front to back, how does it perform? 39 inches, it's not great with 100 pounds on it. We're gonna go up to 42.5, which is the average height for males in the United States for standing, which is 5'9". So 42.5 inches. You can see I'm used to kind of grabbing on the sides of these desks, especially lower here, because a lot of times they take a lot more to get going, but you can see with the Flexispot, it doesn't take a lot to get this to start moving. You know, even at this light weight, this lower height, you can see the feet are moving around with not too much required. And then front to back, same thing. It's never a good sign when you can get the feet hopping off the front. And at 42.5 inches, this desk has quite a bit of movement. So we'll go ahead and check the last height, which again, maxed out on this particular product is gonna be close to 49 inches, just under. And you can expect kind of the same thing. You know, it's just gonna get worse. I mean, if it's bad at the bottom, you can see the feet moving around. If you've watched some of my other videos, you know that if I'm not requiring too much effort to get this thing to start going, that's never a good thing. And then front to back is the same thing. So, you know, movement on the feet all through the columns up to the top. This desk with just 100 pounds on it isn't very good for stability. We're gonna go ahead and bring it back down. We'll go to max capacity again, which is about 187 pounds, and then we'll run through all of the same height and test and see how it performs. Second test, we've got the desk set at its max capacity, 187 pounds at its lowest height. We're gonna go ahead and see how it is down here at the bottom. You know, a lot of desks you can't get to really do that. So never a good sign when I can get the desk to start moving at the bottom. See the weights are moving around too. All right, so at the bottom, there's some movement there. I mean, it's not anything that probably would impact you, but it's never a good sign when we start to see movement that low at the absolute bottom. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna check out that 39-inch mark. So at 39, I suspect with all this weight, it should have quite a bit of movement, and it does. You know, it doesn't really take much to get this desk to start to wobble. And if we do the rocking motion, you know, same thing here. Just pushing it with my thumb, you can really get it rocking. I mean, you can see even the cinder blocks are moving around making sounds. So not a great performer there. We'll go up to the 42.5-inch mark. 42.5. Everything is really just gonna start to get worse as we go up. And that's the case with this particular product. As we get higher, performance gets worse. And you can see those feet are really hopping up off the table. Both directions, the feet come up off the floor. So that's not a good thing. We'll take it up to the max height. And at this height, it's really not going to take anything to get this thing to move. You can see the movements through the entire frame. With the max capacity, front to back, really not doing a lot here to get this thing to move. So the Flexispot EC1 product is inexpensive for sure. We've reviewed a few of these inexpensive desks. I'd say this particular product is better than the other inexpensive ones like the Flexispot and the SHW are some brands that come to mind that you'll find on Amazon. But for stability, I really wouldn't be looking at this particular product if you're looking for something stable. This is definitely not stable. I think you could tell with the 100 pounds wasn't great. Once we got to 187, you started to see a little bit of motion even at the absolute bottom of this test. And that's something, if you've watched some of the other stability videos, you know is pretty uncommon. You don't see that on a lot of frames. So that's definitely something you'll want to consider. If stability is important to you, you know, keep that in mind with this particular product. I'll just say that much. Hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. We've got a ton of these videos coming up here on stability specifically, so you won't want to miss out on those. Thanks a lot for watching.